Hey Yogi, welcome to class. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm Ree, this is Drakey, and if you are returning, welcome back. We are stoked to practice with you again on YouTube as always. Before we get into the class, my usual little speech, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please do. It'll just help Drake and I to grow on the platform. Okay, enough of that. So getting into class, this one's going to be super kind of slow, hopefully really working into the legs. And yeah, my aim for this is that you have longer time spent in some of the postures so you can really let them integrate into the body. That being said, I've got a few props here, which would be great if you have them. 2 blocks and a blanket. It doesn't need to be like a fancy yoga blanket. Any blanket will do. So grab those things and then come to meet me on your mat. And actually pop your blanket out now. Probably put it on kind of like not its thinnest, but not its thickest. So I have quite a wide blanket, so I've got it folded here twice. Yeah. And then you can have your blanket turned to face up the mat, but I'm going to face you. And then come to sit on the blanket. We'll make a start in a bear sit. So actually I'm going to move this back a little so I've got some space. So coming into a bear sit, you're going to sit your sit bones onto the blanket. Take the feet quite wide. Imagine like a goddess, a pose, or an active squat here. Bend the knees and pop the hands onto the fronts of the shins, maybe bottom of the ankle, and then use that pull of the arms to just send you into quite a nice upright position. Also, you could take the hands behind you, fingertips into the mat, and do the same. So whichever allows you to feel like you've got some length there through the spine, but also that you feel like you're right up on your sit bones, then take that. So I quite like this sort of pulling action, but you may prefer the pushing action of the fingers behind you. And neither are wrong. They're just both different routes to the same destination, I suspect. So we're just going to take a couple of breaths here, just allowing this really upright seat to hopefully open us up a little bit through the chest. You can let the eyes soften, or you can close them completely. Engaging in a really nice controlled breath, where you've taken the breath out of autopilot for now and are looking to be in control of it. Keep sitting tall, so keep using the hands onto the shins to lift you up, or use the fingers behind you. They both do the same work. We want to be really up and out of our sit bones and lifted. Nice. If the eyes were closed, they can come to blink open, and then you can release the hands if they were on the front. If they were on the back of you, you can kind of keep them there. And then we're just going to start to swivel from side to side. So kind of dig the heels into the mat and just swivel. And these don't need to be big movements. The whole point here is to just start to get into the hip. Moving through a little bit of internal and external rotation here as we bring the knee in on the internal and then open the knees wide on the external. And be meticulous here. So it does feel nice to sway from side to side, and we will do that with a bit less kind of specificity, if that's the right word. But just try to sit nice and tall, keep pressing into their fingers if they're behind you, and then just a couple more times. Next time you turn to the left, then take the hands on the outside of the left leg so that you frame the leg, and then just fold down and rise. So nothing too intense here. We're just trying to work into that left hip. Try and pull the left hip back under you, and then come to center, come through center, let both knees fall over to the right, hands will frame the right foot, and then again, we're just going to lower and lift. And you are on that blanket there, so that may help with this, just to get the hips up and over, but just lowering and lifting. Nice. Come back to center, come off the blanket, and if you had your blanket, then now open it so it's a little bit thinner, but just have it maybe halfway up your mat. The intention here is that when we're lowering the knees, you've kind of got the blanket there for a bit of support. And then take both blocks to where your hands would be in a down dog. So towards the top of the mat is great. And really press your hands into the blocks here to sort of get a bit of traction between the block, or friction between the block and the mat to hold it there. And then we'll take some wrist circles here. So coming out of the hips for a moment, moving into the wrists. And notice how this feels with the hands elevated. It may feel a bit uncomfortable. It may feel no different. I always find I feel like I don't trust the blocks as much. I have friends that can handstand on a block, and I'm just like, oh, I don't think I trust the block. I certainly don't trust those blue blocks. Anyone that's been with me a while knows that those foam blocks, I'm always bagging on them. So hopefully you're on cork blocks. Anyway, come to some stillness. Let's take some cat-cows here. I'm going to tuck my back toes under. Inhale, drop the belly, lift your chest. Really pour your chest through your arms, cow pose. Exhale, send it the other way. Chin to chest, tuck the tail. Inhale, pull through, and go at your own breath cadence here. So if you want to go faster than me, slower than me, that's fine. Just want to get you moving through the spine, tilting through the pelvis. The pace is really one that you can set and change. You could start slow and then move faster. Nice. From here, tuck the toes under and lift the hips. Come into Ardha Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. And it may feel a lot easier now to get the heels to the mat. Not that that's at all important, but if they are, really push into the blocks to kind of put some weight back into the back line of the legs here. And again, you know, I still like to have a bit of a bend in my knees, so feel free to straighten and bend. Nice. From here, lift the right leg up. On your exhale, that right foot will go to the outside of the right block. Drop the back knee. Nice. Inhale, sweep the right arm up and back. Twisted lizard lunge. Exhale, take the right hand down, and then start to work through straightening and closing the right knee. So you're really using the heel of the right foot here to control. Like, imagine it's the control lever for the motion. So you want to dig the heel in to drag you forward on the bend of the knee and push away to get you into that half split. So really working through the heel here is just going to help us fire on the leg, essentially. So sway forward and back a little bit. Just finding a little bit of opening here. Nice. Come into a bit of stillness. Next time that you find yourself in half split Ardha Hanuman, send the right foot down, or the right heel down into the floor, and drag it back. I mean, not actually drag it back, but use the action. And then also engage on the front of the leg too. Inhale, rebend that right knee, lift the back knee off, step your right foot back to down dog. Nice stuff. Left leg up, 3-leg dog. On your exhale, the left foot will journey to the outside of the left hand and drop that back knee. It might feel easier on the blocks. Inhale, take a sweep of the left arm up, drop the right hip down, finding that twisted lizard. And then exhale. Left hand will seek the left block or the mat if you're not on the blocks. And again, we're just going to use the pull and the push of the left heel into the mat to drag you forwards and back. So finding some sway, finding a little bit of rock and forth that feels good. We're just trying to wake everything up here, just allowing the hips and that left leg to just feel some opening. Feel some space. Nice, and then come to some stillness next time that you find your half split, Ardha Hanuman. Looking forward, and again, same cue on this side. Pull the left toes back towards the left shin, and then imagine you could really drag that left heel down and back, and then engage through the front of the left leg. Inhale to rebend the left knee, plant the left foot, lift the right knee off, step the left foot back to down dog. Nice. From here, roll forward, drop the knees to the mat. Inhale, come into cow pose. Exhale, push, cat pose. Inhale through to cow. Exhale to cat. Stay in cat pose, tuck the toes, lift the hips, and then push back. Down dog. Right leg up, 3-leg dog. Exhale, right foot outside of right hand. Drop that left knee down. This time, you're going to kickstand the left foot to the right side of the mat. So it's swinging to the right side. And then you're going to just sway here. So coming into this kind of half Parsvakonasana, swaying side to side. I actually like right forearm on right thigh to allow you to really just drive deeper, but just find a little bit of momentum forwards and back. Nice. Feeling the work here through the hips. Again, using that right heel this time as the anchor, as the driver, controlling the movement. Nice. And then from here, reaching forward. So you're just going to take a stretch. So imagine kind of like a humble warrior 2 maybe, kind of here but in our funky half side angle. And just feeling the stretch, fingertips over to the left, top left side of the mat. Nice. Hands back onto the blocks. Open the gate, as I would say. So bring the left foot back so that it's kind of in line with the left hip. And then use your right hand to just gently press into the right thigh, just to allow you to drop the left hip a little bit deeper here. You could come off the block if that helps you find a bit more depth. And really just opening so that that right foot goes out onto the right outer blade of the foot. You just want to find a little bit of space here. And then keeping that right hip as wide as it is onto the edge of the right foot. Now turn to the left and see how far you can walk your fingertips away from you on that left side. So you're really trying to send the right knee away from you. The body is trying to go left. We're just trying to stretch in a few directions here. Nice. Put your hands back onto blocks, replant that right foot, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, step that left foot to the outside of the left block. Deeply bend the knees, inhale to an active squat. Exhale to stand, squeeze your glutes, draw the hands into you. Inhale, reach up to Urdhva Hastasana, look up. Exhale, pull down, active squat. Inhale, the hands will go to the blocks. Your right foot goes back. Your left foot goes back. Downward facing dog. Nice. Roll forward, bend the knees, drop them. Inhale through to cow pose. Exhale through to cat pose. Inhale through to cow. Exhale, push away from the blocks, tuck the tailbone, cat pose, tuck the toes, lift up, use the protracted shoulders to just puff you back, and then find down dog. Left leg up, 3-leg dog. On the exhale, left foot outside of that left hand, and then drop the back knee down. Again, here we're going to kickstand that right foot over towards the left and then come up off the blocks so that we can sway forwards and back again, using the left forearm, if that feels good, to send you deeper. But we're just going to sway here. We're just trying to find a little bit of space through the right groin, the inner lining of the left leg. Moving, coming into that straight and bent knee position on the left. Nice. Next time that you bend that left knee, start to walk your fingertips forward over to the right hand side, top of the mat. And again, you're just trying to send your hips backwards. And really feel the stretch here. You might go a lot deeper than I do, but feel that stretch on the inner lining of that left hip, and also in the groin, both legs. Nice. Pop your hands back onto the blocks. Swivel your right foot back so that right foot is in line with the right hip. You're facing the top of the mat here. And then again, we're just going to open out onto the outer blade of the left foot, left hand to the inside of the left thigh, and then use the push of hand into thigh to just send you deeper. Watch that the foot doesn't sickle too much. So what you want is for the foot and the knee to be in line as they open, rather than you collapsing onto the foot. If you want to take your right hand onto the mat because you think that will help you with the depth of the position, then do so. But really try here to drop that right hip down. Feel the stretch through the front of the right hip. And then from here, the left knee is going to stay as wide as it will go. Left fingertips go over towards the top right hand side of the mat. Right fingertips go to meet it. Try and reach away and go long here. Letting the body go as low to the mat as feels okay. This is a big stretch. Keep opening through the left hip. Slowly walk the hands back in, replant the left foot, tuck the back toes, lift the right knee off, and gently step right foot outside of the right block. Inhale to an active squat here. Exhale, squeeze the glutes, stand, hands in. Inhale, reach up, look up. Urdhva Hastasana, exhale, back into an active squat. Inhale, hands to the mat or the block, left foot back, right foot back, down dog. Nice work. Right leg up, 3-leg dog, right foot to the outside of the right block. Nice. Now from here, you can move your blocks a little bit so that you kind of don't want the blocks too close to the edge of the mat. So just make sure you've got enough space here for your right foot to open all the way. Nice. And then from here, we're going to do a little bit of a bouncing kind of pigeon into a half split. It's not, neither are going to be kind of the full end range of that you can do in either of those postures, because we're going to move through them dynamically, slowly, but we're going to move through them. So coming into your half split, so straightening through your right leg, pulling the right thigh bone back and underneath you. Then rebend the right knee, plant the right foot. Then turn so that your right fingers come off your mat and your left hand goes just on top, just above your left foot. And then from here, you're going to let the left foot kick out away from you, and you're going to come into a pigeon pose here. Nice. Swivel back. Everything swivels back to center. So that left foot kicks back in, hands back to the blocks, straighten through the leg. Inhale, rebend. Start to swivel the left leg out. Hands will frame the right leg, coming into a variation of pigeon. Nice. Back to center. So swivel everything to face the top of the mat, and then straighten through the leg, the right leg. Rebend the right knee. So I'm not going to cue you through every one. You're just going to move here in your own pace, but try to really have that right shin parallel as much as you can. So it doesn't need to be like how you take pigeon normally. Just think of this as just a flowing way to open through your right hip and your right hamstring. Okay? Wherever you are, let's say take 2 more. You know, and this isn't, we're not looking for perfection here. This is not going to be the cleanest of the poses you've ever done. It's more about a movement and a feeling. Nice. Come back to center. From here, take your right knee back underneath you. Inhale. Come through into cow pose. Lift the chest, flick the tailbone. Exhale, push into cat. Tuck the toes, keep the cat pose, lift the knees, and then push back. Down dog. Nice. Left leg up. On the exhale, left foot outside of the left block. And again, make sure that you've got enough room here to swivel around. So if you want to move the blocks a bit further over the mat, that's fine. From here, inhale, straighten through that left leg, finding your half split on this side. And then rebend the left knee. Start to swivel now over to the left. So the fingertips are going to frame the front leg. The right foot needs to swing out a little bit. You could lower and rise. Hands go back. Foot goes back neutral. Straighten through the legs. It's exactly the same on this side. So we're just moving into variations of the poses and trying to find a rhythm to the movement. And we're just trying to essentially, every time we move through these, I'm looking for you to find different sensation in different places. So if I pull that left hip back underneath me on this one, send the right hip forward, the outer left glute is working more. Maybe on the next side, I won't do that and do something else. So, or the next turn. So, you know, you're just seeking different stretches here. We're not looking for an aesthetic. We're looking for a feeling. I mean, that's true, I think, always in yoga asana, but certainly now. This isn't going to be the cleanest half split you've ever done, or the cleanest pigeon, although it may feel very open after all this hip work and hamstring work. Take 1 more wherever you are. Maybe you want to linger there for a moment. And then come back to center, blocks underneath the hands. Step the left knee back under the left hip. Inhale, pull through cow pose. Exhale, push. Cat pose. Nice. Inhale through to cow. Exhale, push into down, into cat pose, and then lift into down dog. Nice job. From here, take your right foot outside your right block, left foot outside the left block. And then if you do have blocks, grab one, turn it on its medium height so that you can sit on it in Malasana. If you don't have blocks and you weren't practicing with them, just come to a Malasana here. And just notice how this is feeling in the hips. Using the block to sit up nice and tall. Nice. And then from here, lift your butt up so that you can move your block. And then drop your butt to the mat. Maybe it's graceful, maybe it's not. And then we're going to come into a Savasana. So we're going to use the props, seeing as we've got so many of them. So just to allow us to open up through the spine a little bit. If you've got quite a wide blanket, then we're just going to roll it up so that it's kind of long with a little bit of thickness. So, you know, we're all going to have different blankets. Although this is a very yoga-y blanket, maybe you do have this one. Nice. So we're just going to pop that along the back of the mat. That's where we're going to put the spine and the head. Then we're going to actually put the blocks on top of our hands. I love this. I was taught this in my training. I love doing it in person with students. Most people enjoy it as well. It just gives you a little bit of weight into the hand. So it allows the fingers to stretch, but in a very passive way. You're not trying to hold your fingers there. The block is doing the work. Of course, these are optional things. You could just come down into your Savasana. That's fine. So first of all, we'll just set up with the back. So have the blanket, depending on how long it is, up to the bottom of your back, and then you can lie back onto it. You'll have to fidget here, I think, to get like it right in the middle of your back. You want it, the whole of the spine to feel supported. And then once you've kind of got your shoulder blades hanging off the edge and you feel like you could be here, if you're on your own, the way to get into the blocks like this without having me there is to just have the two hands underneath the two blocks as if they were like pizza trays, and then just allow your hands, the backs of your hands, to meet the mat. And you don't want the fingers around the edge, okay? So really have the hand, if I hold this here, have the hand on the inner, so it's in the block space rather than gripping on the edge, because we want the thumb and the fingers to all feel the stretch here. And if you grip with some fingers and the thumbs, then it's really only going to be, you know, part of the stretch that we're after. So set yourself up, have whatever fidgets you need. Fidget with the feet if you need to. And then move into Savasana. Not a lot of explosive movements or pace in today's class, but certainly lots of stretch, lots of holding into stretches and moving in and through them. So just notice how you're feeling here in these moments. Let the weight of the blocks just gently stretch the fingers. Let your shoulder blades gently fall away from your ears as they wrap around your blanket, if that's a prop that you've chosen. Or, of course, a bolster will give you the same effect. Start to let go, Yogi. Let go of your experience on your yoga mat. Drake is snoring very loudly. Start to find some ease. Stay in this Savasana for as long as you can. Maybe that's 2 more minutes. Maybe it's 15 more breaths. Maybe it's 10 minutes, 20 minutes. How often do you come to stillness and just allow yourself to be there? As always, we won't stay with you, but we encourage you to explore your Savasana to its full extent, staying for as long as you can. This is where Drake and I will leave you. As always, it's an absolute privilege to practice with you here on YouTube. Until we see each other on the mat again. Thank you, Yogi.